it's great to see you here once again on Dee's Delights. Today we are going to be making an easy yet delicious French toast casserole. For this recipe you're going to need 1 loaf of sourdough or French bread, about 16 ounces. Well, today I had a loaf of regular white bread I needed to use up, so I have 20 ounces here. And what I did was I cut it into pieces and I'm letting it set out to dry. You're going to need 6 to 8 large eggs. The recipe actually calls for 8, but depending on how much egg you like in your French toast, I'm going to use about 7 today. I've done it before with 8, but it gets a little too jiggly for my liking. 2 cups of milk, I'm going to use 1 1/2. 1/2 cup of heavy cream, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, and 3/4 cup of sugar. Now that's for the French toast, and then we're going to have a topping on top. So let's get started. First, of course, you're going to cut your bread into 1-inch cubes and scatter evenly on a 9 by 13-inch baking dish. There again, it's always helpful if the bread is a little dry. You could cut it into cubes, put it on a cookie sheet, let it sit out for a few hours before you use it. Go ahead and grease your 9 by 13 baking dish. I'm just using a little bit of butter. I'm going to butter up the sides too. Now, the best time to make this is the night before so that it's ready for breakfast. Actually, I'm doing it in reverse because I'm going to have this for dinner. So it's about 9:30 in the morning. I'm going to let it sit all day in the fridge. So go ahead and put your bread cubes in there. I'll see if I have enough room since I used 20 ounces instead of 16. So as you can see, mine is rather full, but that's okay. The milk and everything will make it go down into the pan as it sits all day. So go ahead in a medium bowl. Let's mix our eggs, milk, heavy cream, vanilla, and sugar. Then we're going to pour it over the bread. Okay, so I've got my 7 eggs, milk, and heavy cream here. My vanilla, my sugar, whisk those together. What we're going to do, eggs are rather nasty looking, aren't they at times? Oh. Okay, what we'll do is we'll pour this over top, and then we're going to cover it with plastic wrap and put it in the fridge for like 4 to 8 hours. I'll probably put mine in for about 6. They even say you can do it overnight, which would be about 8 hours for the average individual. I'm just going to press this down a little bit. Off to the fridge it goes for 4 to 8 hours. Now in the meantime, we're going to make the topping. Okay, for the topping, what we're going to do is go ahead and make that, and then you can pop that in the fridge too. So, first what we're going to do is we're going to mix the flour, brown sugar, cinnamon, and salt in a medium bowl. Make sure there's no lumps in my brown sugar before I get started. So you'll need 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour, 1/2 cup packed light brown sugar, 1 teaspoon ground cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon salt, and 1/2 cup of unsalted butter cut into pieces. Put all of those together. Then we're going to cut in the butter. You're not going to melt it. You're going to cut it into chunks. Then I'm going to use a couple of knives to cut it. Then eventually I'll get in there with my fingers. It is December 20th of 2023. It's almost Christmas time. I won't be cooking this Christmas because I'm going to my mother-in-law's. She loves to cook and offered to have it here. But as long as she is able, she wants to do it. So guess what? That's where we'll be. And Doug, of course, thinks that nobody can cook like his mama. Oh, goodness. So I'm going to cut it into like little chunks like this. And then I'll cut it into the sugar and flour. And then just like I would with pie dough, I'm just going to use 2 butter knives and start cutting it in. It's going to take a little while because this butter is cold. Now I'll just kind of mix my butter in this way. It's just as easy this way to get it mixed in. Squeeze it a little bit. Okay, I got mine nice and crumbly. I'm gonna put a lid on it, put it in the fridge, and I'll see you back here in about 6 hours. All right, it's been about 6 hours. You see what I got here. Yep, the bread is mushy, which is what you want. Let's go ahead and sprinkle this over the bread. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. We're going to bake this for about 45, anywhere from 45 to 60 minutes. Depends on how mushy you like your bread. But this right here is just going to add a little heavenly, heavenly touch. Okay. See you in about 45, 50 minutes. I just took mine out of the oven after about 45 minutes. I'm going to let it rest. It's poofy right now. It'll probably sink a little bit. And then I shall partake of this delicious French bread casserole, even though it's not French bread. All right, let's see what we got. I can see the ends are a little crunchy, but that's okay. I'm just going to have a little piece. Scrum delicious. I'm going to put just a little bit of syrup on top. Let's see what we got here. Yep, it's pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. You know, I think I'd rate it a 9 out of 10. You could use this, heck, as a dessert. I'll store some of it in the fridge for a few days, but I'm going to freeze most of it. So that way, if it's breakfast time, I just get out a serving, pop it in the microwave, voila, have a delicious breakfast. So thanks for joining me here once again on Dee's Delights, and I hope you enjoy your French toast casserole. See you soon.